Anyone is having any doubts on yesterday's session, guys? Can you see my screen?
Yes, bro.
Yeah. Anyone is having any doubts? Okay. If no doubts, I'm good to go ahead. So yesterday we have seen what is the database, why data is required, what is the information, what is the data. So today onwards it will start actually. So yesterday is all about the why database is required in our day-to-day life and what is the importance of for that and how to deal with. So today SQL. So every database, if you want to deal with any database, if you want to deal with any database, I mean interaction, if you want to interact with any database, then we should use the SQL is the primary language. SQL is the primary language which is used to interact with the database. So by using SQL, we will interact with the database. SQL full form is structured query language. Structured query language. So also we can call it as a SQL. So some people will call it as a SQL, some people will call it as a SQL. So SQL is a programming language used to interact with the RDBMS. SQL is the programming language used to interact with relational database management system. So SQL is a primary programming language which is used to interact with the relational database management system. So SQL is a primarily used in RDBMS. SQL is primarily used in RDBMS. So by using SQL only, we will interact with the RDBMS. The most for every database, primarily we use the SQL. We use SQL as a for the interaction. So all major RDBMS, relational database management systems like Oracle, MySQL, MS SQL, PostgreSQL, DB2, this all Spanner DB, MariaDB, this all databases use the SQL language, use the SQL. So using SQL, we can read the data from the database, we can write data into database, we can create, modify, or delete data in the database. Read the data in the database. Already there is a data in the database. So once you install the software, guys, once you install the software, so for example, I am using Oracle database. So once you install the software, you will get this is the SQL Plus. This is called environmental tool. This is called environmental tool. So Oracle has provided to interact with the database. How we have MS SQL Management Studio, MySQL Management Studio, PostgreSQL tool. Like that way, Oracle has provided us SQL developer. It is one tool which we can. This is the tool. If you observe, the tool is look like this. The tool. The tool is look like this. So there are multiple tools to connect it to the database, but widely used the tool in wide range of use this tool in real-time perspective is Oracle developer. We have Toad, we have PLSQL developer, we have Oracle developer. There are multiple tools are there, but every organization they will use Oracle SQL developer to interact with the database. But by default, Oracle has provided once you installed, this tool will automatically installed along with the software installation. SQL Plus. This is the environmental tool. This is the environmental tool. This is the environmental tool. So by using this tool, we can interact with the database. By using this tool, we can interact with the database. See, this tool is look like this. By tool, by using this tool, we will interact with the database. Like interaction in the sense, if you want to read the data, we will read it. If you want to write the data, we will write it. If you want to remove the data, we will remove it. If you want to modify or update the data which is having exist, we can do it. So any operation which you done, any transaction in the database, that is called that is called interaction with the database. So if you want to read means there is a table already which is available. If you want to read that one, then we will use like this. We will interact. So you no need to worry what I am writing right now. So we will discuss that one. We will discuss that one. See, there is a table called employee. There is a table called student. This is the data. It is having only one column and multiple rows, 8 rows. The employee table is having multiple columns. Multiple column is this one. Multiple columns and 15 rows. So the tool, what I said, we have the tool called SQL developer, right, which is used mostly in our real time. So why we use our interaction for class purpose is SQL plus. Initially, SQL plus we use for the some of the till we start the topics. This is more relevant for the explanation. In real time, we never use this SQL plus for the only deployment purpose we can use. For the code development, everything we use in the SQL developer only. Writing a code, everything. But in real time, in real time, we use the SQL plus this tool for the deployments. Already you have created the code here, the set of code like this we have created already, but the set of code like this we have already created. You wanted to execute this code. You wanted to execute this code at a time, one by one, not we have written multiple codes at a time. You want to deployment everything, there are multiple codes are there, you wanted to do it. So by that time we will use the by that time we will use SQL plus for the deployments. Mostly support people, we what we will tell, we will give them set of code and we will ask them to execute it. So they will use this tool, SQL plus. If you observe here, same data, same data in SQL plus. These are the columns. These are the rows. So this is the column, right? This is the one column, second column, third column, fourth column. So these are the rows. In the form of table is came, right? Separation of every row. Observe. But in SQL plus, we never get such type of for the division for every row and every column. But here we will get it. Okay. So this is the tool. Initially, we will use to learn learning purpose SQL plus. I will provide the software after the enrollment, and I will tell you, I will guide you how you need to install the software. Okay, once you install the software, automatically you get this one. So now I am reading the data from the database. At the same way, you no need to worry about these commands till we haven't started the topics. We will do it those things. Delete from EMB where the EPT number equal to 20. Now if you see the table again, previously table is having 15 rows. After deleted, 5 rows is deleted. Among 15, 5 rows is deleted. Now it is 10 rows. So we can read the data, we can delete the data. At the same way, we can update the data, read the data. If you want to insert the data, here are 15 rows or 10 rows right now. If you want to insert another some of the rows, then you can able to insert it by using insert command. If you want to delete, we can delete by using delete command. If you want to update by using, we can update command. Clear? So we can read the data, we can write the data, we can modify the data, we can create the data by using this SQL in the database. Next, we use SQL to analyze the data like this. If you want to, you can fetch the data. If you want to, we can write a large blocks of code, and you can whatever the based on requirement you can write it, and you can analyze the data as well. You can analyze the data as well. You can analyze the data as well like this. Whatever you need, you can write the code and you can analyze it. Okay, for reporting purpose also you can fetch the data and you can analyze it. So build the reports. So there is a BI reports. So or else you need to send some reports with the GSV. There are BI business intelligence developers will be there who take care of reporting purpose. But our duty is that if they ask, we need to provide the data based on their requirement. They will tell the so and so fields they need it, and the so and so fields and so also I mean so and so tables is required so that we can we can build the reports. We can provide the data, they can build the reports. Clear? Next, data. So yesterday we have discussion, right? Anything or everything and anything is considered as a data. Every collection of raw facts also data. So data, it is a collection of events needs to be stored in single object called as a data. It is a collection of events needs to be stored in a single object is called as a data. Object is nothing but table or synonym or sequence. There are multiple. I have shown you right yesterday curriculum. I mean syllabus. So here, if you observe, if you observe table or views or synonyms or sequence or indexes, anything that is called object. Object. So the collection of events is nothing but add, modify, remove. Add in the sense insert. If you insert the data, I mean create the data, whatever you need, you wanted to store the data in the database for the future reference. Whenever you need it, you can see. If you observe here, we have stored the employees table data, employees table data, and we have stored the students table data, student table data. So why we have stored student and employees table data? Student, why you stored guys? Student and employees data. Why we have stored? Any idea? Why we store the data in the database? Yesterday we have discussed, right? Like
For future purpose.
for future purpose. See, yesterday we have discussed about the SBI customers. They should have their store their customer details. They should have store their employees details. They should have stored their um, product details, everything, right? Because if you go into the visitor to the branch, I am your customer. How they can know about you? You may create some fake document. You will go and you will tell them. If they doesn't store their data, how do you how they find out he is our customer? Based on your account, they will search in the database. Then there it will display your photo, your address, your signature, everything. It will be displayed. See, sometimes if you put the for withdrawal purpose, if you go to the branch, if you put the signature, if it is wrong, they will tell this is not the correct signature. You can do it one more, like which is you provided while you are taking the account, because they can see everything in the database. So data is a collection of events needs to be stored, collection of raw facts, collection of information needs to be stored in a single object. Object is nothing but a table, sequence, view, synonyms, everything called as a data, or else collection of raw facts. Events is add, modify, remove. So now I have removed it. Now I have uh, Now I have removed the data, right? Five rows. That is called one event. Any transaction which you perform on the database, that is called an event. Any transaction. If you run any query, if you are doing any transaction in the database level, transaction in the sense you are performing one action, that is called one transaction. For example, if you removed some data, if you are added some data, if you are updating some data, like you are if you are taking the banking perspective, if you if you check your balance in the database, that is called one action. If you send amount to the someone, that is called one event or one transaction. If you if you withdraw some amount from the bank, that is called one transaction in the banking perspective. In database level, those all are events. In database level, those all are transactions is called as a events. Any transaction which you perform on the database, that is called one event. So there are two types of objects we have in the database. In the database we have only two types of objects. One is user object, another one is the system object. User object in the sense which is created by the user. See, when you install the software, automatically there are some tables which some objects or tables which automatically installed. Why those fields will installed? I mean, why those tables or objects will installed by defaultly? So that is a product. The based on the product development, they will decide, right, what and all needs to be stored. See, if you are building if you are developing one product, you know the architecture of product, you know the functionality of product. The based on that you need to, based on your requirement, you are developing one product. So to build that product, you need to store some objects in the database or any product. That is called system object. When you install the software, automatically some system created tables or data dictionaries or objects will automatically create in the database. That is called system object. That is called system object. So now there is a user underscore. We will discuss these things. See, user underscore objects, one data dictionary is there. So these things did we created now? Did we created, guys? This user objects. The user object is a one system created object. See, this one we created. Employee table is we created. So employee table is having the these many of columns. At the same way, user underscore object is having the this many columns. To check the table structure, we use describe the table. To use the table structure, we can describe the table for the command. To describe the table for the to describe the table, we use the des is the command. So des is the employee table. You can see these all are the fields, these all are the rows. And what is that table, what is that table is having how many fields? The fields are column, fields or column or both are same, guys. Field or column or attribute, these three are same. Names are different, all are same. If you call it as a field, if you call it as a attribute, if you call it as a column, all are same only. So now we will see what is the architecture of this table, employee table. Architecture of employee table, what is the mechanism which this field allows you to enter the data. If you observe employee number, what is this number data type? We will discuss what is the data type and all. Then this is the size, these things. The same way, this one we created employee table, but we haven't created user underscore object. It is automatically created by the system when you install the software. So which employee table you created? This is called user object. This is called user object. This user object's table, right? This is one table. All underscore object or user underscore object. If you see all underscore objects, this is one system created object. Same way, all underscore views. This is one more system created table. This table is having these all are the fields or columns. Okay, anything which is created by the user, that is called user object. So it's created by the user and manipulated by the users, and it contains the user data. See, if you created the table in the database, why you create the table? You want to store the data, whatever is required for you. Those data you will insert in the database for the future reference. You will store the data in the database for future reference. Who created the table is here? Is user created, automatically system created for that requirement. I need to store my data. For example, you people are joined in my session, I mean my training. I wanted to store what and all how many people are joining the session, what is their names, what is their email address, what is their locations, what is their mobile number. I wanted to store in the database. So for this requirement, who has to create the object? I mean, object is nothing but a table or synonym or sequence. Many things are there. Everything is considered as one object. Who has to create the object, guys, for this requirement?
User.
So user. I need to create the object. So I am the user for the database. Who and all is having the access to the database? Those all are the users for the database. If we create one a website, who are the users for the website, who and all accessing that website, those all are the users for the object, that website. If you take SBA project, who are the users for the SBA project? I mean, who are the customers for the FGA project? Who and all utilizing that SBA product? Those all are the customers for the SBA project, SBA bank. Who are they having account, who are they having loans, who are having the some education, home loans, any LI, any this policies, health policies, or fixed deposits. Those all are the customers or users for the bank. At the same time, who and all having the access for the, see, your project is having one project, no one will access apart from your project people in the organization. In organization, number of projects will be there. Only who and all having the access that database, those all are the user. So which is created, user object means it's created by the user and manipulated by users only, because you created it, contain the user data. Why it contain the user data? I created, I am storing my data. At the same time, system created object, nothing but system object, nothing but system created object. When system will create this object, when you install the software, automatically system will create some object. Those all called as a data dictionaries as well. We will call system created objects called, we will call it system created objects as well, data dictionaries, which is already available in the database, which are already available in the database. So you no need to create. Once you install this software in your machine, automatically these these objects will created in the database. Clear? Clear, guys? Anyone is having any doubts?
Clear. Thank you.
No issues. Any doubts? Okay. So now understand this terminology in real time, how we will call it as. So you need to remember that. If you call it as object or entity or table, both are same, anything are same. Object means anything. So if you call it as in your home, there are multiple things: TV, feeds, air condition, fan, everything. We will call it as TV as one object. We will call it as refrigerator, one object. We will call it as some AC, air condition, that is one object. We will call it as fan, that is one object. The same way, database can contain tables, views, synonyms, sequence. These all are one topics. Index, which are available physically in the database, that is called physically is available in, right? Table, refrigerator, these all are not virtual, right? So those are available in the physically in our home. At the same time, what and all available in the database, those all will call as a objects. So table is one of the object in the objects. How synonym is one of the object in the object. So if you call it as entity or table, same. If you call it as attribute or column or field, everything is the same. If you call it as record, tuple or row, record or tuple or row. See these things here, if you see in real time, we will call it as this is one record or one row. We never call it as this one as tuple. rarely. But table also we can call it as this is column also. Table we will call it as table only in real time. This one we will call it as field or column in real time. This one we will call it as record or row. Okay. So yesterday we have seen, right, what is metadata. Data about the data is called as a metadata. Data about the data is called as a data metadata. So how the data stored in the database, guys? How the data stored in the database? In the form of
Rows and rows and columns.
rows and columns as a table. Data is storing in the database as a table in the form of rows and columns. So you need to tell data stored in the database as a table in the form of rows and columns. Okay, as per our Oracle database, data stored in two structures. Data stored in two structures. One is logical structure, another one is the physical structure. One is logical structure, another one is the physical structure. Okay, one is logical structure, another one is the physical structure. Data stored. Logical structure is nothing but table space and data dictionaries. Data dictionaries means you already know, which is created by the system when you install the software. What and all? User underscore tables, all underscore tables, user underscore cons and multiple there. Many data dictionaries are available by default. Whatever we need, we will utilize them based on our requirement. Next, another one is table space. So the logical structure can contain table space and data dictionaries. Physical structure can contain table and indexes. Physical structure contain table and indexes. Okay. So table space. You may all learn in our education during education what is this table structures and all. Permanent, there are three types of table spaces. One is permanent table space, another one is temporary table space, another one is undo table space. Permanent table space, temporary table space, undo table space. What is permanent table space? It store the data permanently after commit. To store the data permanently after commit. There is a commit command. There is a commit command in our SQL. So when you commit the data, that is automatically store the data into the database. This one I will show you. Before that, how it will store in the database permanently? Let me create. uh, it's not there. Okay. Per every table and so DBF file, database file, source of data, database file, source of data. The interbit there is a table space between the table and source of data. For example, here my employee table is having this much is the data. My employee table is having, not this one, I think. Select. This is data which is having my employee table. So now this is the data. Ultimately, I am having. This is the data. There are 15 rows I am having. Now, what I will do, or else delete, I will do. Delete. So you no need to worry about these commands. We will see one by one. There is separate concept. Just for the explanation I am taking. Where DEPT number equal to 10. So I am deleting 3 rows. Among this employee table, I have deleted for 10th department details. It's deleted 3 rows. Now if you see the data, apply. There are 12 rows. So previously how many rows we do have, guys? Before deletion, how many rows?
15.
15. After
Yeah,
deleted, how many rows are there now?
12 rows.
So 3 rows are deleted. 3 rows are deleted. Where this deleted, where this deleted data will go? Is it permanently delete? No, it doesn't way. So this deleted rows will store into the buffer cache. Buffer cache. There is a buffer cache in the database. It will store into there. So now now I am doing commit. Commit means it will permanently delete the data. See, for example, now I am not doing commit, I am doing the rollback. Rollback means there is a command rollback which is used to get the data back again, which is deleted or which is inserted, which is updated, anything, whatever the previous transaction. The transaction, if you want to cancel it, see, for example, you have ordered one item in the Flipkart. If you want to cancel, you will cancel it. Again, whatever the amount you paid for that, it will come back to your pocket, again your bank. The same way in database, you have done one this transaction, 3 rows deleted. Now I don't need this. I mean, I need to cancel this transaction. Again, I need to get my data back again. So for that, there is a rollback command. We will discuss this one. We have a concept. Now if we see rollback is completed, if we see this data is came back again, his data is came previously 12, now 15 see.
Yes.
So I will tell you, you no need to worry about these things. We have a concept called DDL, DML where we can discuss. So see here, that is called temporary table space. When you delete the data, table will be stored in temporary table space. The data will stored in the temporary table space where the buffer cache will store. The buffer cache store the data in the temporary table space. Table space. If you want to again, if you want to get the data back again, we have to use the rollback command, which we can get back again, which we can get back again. So the deleted data will store in the temporary table space, which we can roll back again. So let's assume these all are the uh, if you see, this is my, see, observe, D drive and class 4. Class is a D drive and class is a my directory. So here I will delete this one. I am doing without shift. I am doing delete. Is it deleted, guys?
Yes.
Now, where it will store if you delete it?
Recycle bin.
Sorry.
Recycling bin.
So if you go here, the data will stored into the recycle bin. See, if you see date wise, recycle bin. When you have deleted 746. Now again I want to get back again. What you will do? I want to get this file again. What you will do?
Restore.
Sorry?
Restore.
So you need to restore it. If you restore, where it will go? Same place or it will go somewhere else?
Same place.
Same place. See, now we restored it. Now you can go and check it here. Same place. In between assignment and insurance, same place. So now whatever the delete we have done, that is called here delete operation. That is called here delete operation. So why you get again that file? You need that file. You don't need to delete permanently that one. You need that file. So that's the reason you have restored the same transaction. Restore here in our database, it is called rollback. Once you done the rollback, again it came. Where it came previously, see 10th department, right? If you see 10th department, in between 100 and 7839, king is the 10th department employee. So he is in between Sunil and Blake. So after deleted, see there is no in between that. See, once you roll back, where it came the data in between Sunil and Blake. Is it came at same place?
Yes.
That is the here. Here we are hard disk. Hard disk. We are storing this information in hard disk. No, hard disk is also called as database. Hard disk is one database. This operating system, they have built these operations: delete operation by using delete keyword, rollback operation by using restore, the table space operation where they how they have built it by using recycle bin. Table space is the recycle bin, restore is the rollback, and delete is by using delete keyword, or we can put like this and we use the delete also. For the users who and all using this operating system, they want to more convenient way. That's the reason the Windows has developed these options like this. Previously DOS and Unix operating systems, you know, right? So if you observe, still Unix operating system, we need to use commands to operating. If you want to operate the Unix operating system, you need to use commands. But Windows operating system, they have developed like that for to the user friendly. So now you know, right, what is the temporary table space? Temporary table space will store the deleted data, which we can roll back again, which we can roll back again. And next, permanent table space, it contains the data, it store the data permanently after commit, or delete the data permanently after commit. Now you can go, now you can go yeah. So this is erc d directory. In I am having one emp. So now I am doing shift delete. What is asking if you are deleting shift delete?
Do you want to delete it permanently?
or you want to delete permanently. So I am deleting it. So can is this data available in the recycle bin?
No,
Why it is not available?
because we deleted it permanently.
So we deleted permanently. So that is mean from the hard disk, from the database, the file has been permanently deleted by using shift plus delete. The same here, our database. Now I am deleting, same I am deleting 10th department details. 10th. Now I will do the commit. Commit means shift here, delete means delete. Now I have committed. Now you can check the data. Even you can check the data. Select star from PMB. See, previously 15, now we have 12. Even you can try rollback. We can't get the data back again. Why? Because see, after performing the rollback also, are we getting the data back again? Here 15 rows. Before deletion, we have 15 rows. After deleted, 3 rows deleted. So even if you have committed the data, that means permanently deleted. But you try to roll back it. Rollback is completed. But you get the data. It should be 15 rows, right? Do you have any 10th department here?
No,
No. So here shift is called as a commit. So when you issued the commit, the data will remove permanently or data store. If you store the data and commit, it's store the permanently. So that is called permanent table space. When you commit the data, that will store permanently. Next, undo table space. So drop table details are stored in the undo table space, which we can flashback it again. Same, there is a drop command. I will show you in like when you are dealing with the tables. By the time I will show you to avoid the confusion. If I told you that I need to explain now commands again. So now physical structure. You just remember this one. I will explain. Physical structure. Physical structure means tables and indexes are stored physically. What is table, guys? It is a database object and used to store the data permanently. It is a database object used to store the data, or else it is a collection of rows and columns. It is collection of rows and columns. What is table? Table is a database object used to store the data, or it is a collection of rows and columns. So now you know data stored in the database as a tables. Table is a collection of rows and columns, or is a database object. It is used to store the data. Now you wanted to know how to create a table. Now practically from here onwards, it's a fully practically, guys. From here onwards, it's a fully practical. Okay, so all introduction everything is done. So about the SQL, now we are going to start a full practical sessions. So you need to just focus somewhat. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Table. What is table? It is a database object used to store the data. And one more definition, it is a collection of rows and columns. How the data stored in the database? How the data stored in the database, guys?
The form of table with
In the
rows
form
and
of
columns.
table. Data stored in the database in a table and form of rows and columns. Now you need to know how to create the table. So syntax, this is called syntax. Syntax in the sense rules. Rules. For example, if you take phone pay, if you want to transfer the money to someone, how many ways you have? By using mobile ID, by using UPI ID, by using bank account number. Am I right? Do you have other than that any rules? Do you have other than that any options in phone pay or Google Pay or anything? No, right? So what the rule they kept when they are introduced their product, there is a to contact, you have to click on that one, then you have to enter either phone number, the phone number which you are entering that must be registered in the phone pay. They should have phone pay, they should have installed the phone pay, or else you need to enter the UPI ID, the from to whom you are sending the money, you need to enter their UPI ID, how they have created. If you are mentioning from differently, can you get it the option to send them? No. When you enter that one, it will validate, it will validate or not, whether the UPI ID is correct or not. It will validate, no. Then it will show the bank account holder name. The same way you must have to follow the same format, the same way. That is the product of phone pay or Google Pay. They have built their own rules. The same way for database is one product which is having some rules. You mustn't follow the same rules. How you are following that rules which is set by any phone pay or Google Pay, the same way you need to follow the rules in the database, then only it will work. Now, to create the rule, there is called syntax. Syntax is nothing but rules. Rule set by the product. For that way only it will accept. If you want to create the table, create table, table name. Create table, table name. Whenever you see this angular brackets, these are mandatory. Whenever you see this bracket also half, that is mandatory, that is also mandatory. Whenever you see this type of brackets in any programming language, those are not mandatory. If you see this type of brackets, that is called non-mandatory. If you see this type of brackets, this is called mandatory. This is called mandatory now. To create a table, create table, table name. Then bracket, column 1 and data type. Then size. You need to declare the column. What is the data type? That column has to be allow. Then what is size for that? Then column 2. Again, what type of data that column has to be allowed to you enter. That is data type. Then size for this. Size for that column. How many bytes that column has to be stored. That is what I shown you here. We see description of employee table structure. If you observe here, what is the column of employee number data type? What is, guys? This is the data type. Number data type. What is the size? 4 bytes. Employee number is a column, and for that column number data type and 4 bytes. What is that? E name. E name is a employee name. What is the data type? Varchar 2. Then 10 bytes it will accept. If you see hire date is a data type. There is no size for this. What is that? If you observe here, employee number you declared as a number data type. Size is 4 bytes. What data it is accepting? What data it is accepting, guys?
Numeric data.
Numeric data. Why it is accepting numeric only? We declare the number data type. So here ename. Why it is accepting varchar2 only? It's a string data type or character data type. I mean character data. This is called string data or character data. To accept string data or character data, we have varchar2 data type. We will see now what are the data types we have, why data types are required, what is the size, everything. See now I wanted to maintain my organization, what and all students are there, what is their first name, last name, what is their date of birth, when they are joined in my institution, what is the pay, what is the fee for them, what is the gender, what is their gender. So now create table, table name is student. See, create table, table name. What is table name? Student. Yes, right, right. So now bracket you have to open. Next SID, student ID. ID is a numeric data or any string data or character data.
ID numeric.
So that's the reason we have declared number data here to accept numeric. So first name, last name, it's a string date. If you observe date of birth is what we will enter, date we will enter, no, that is date data type. Date of join, that is also date data type. So we will see one by one these things. Now you understood, you can tell me to create a table, what and all you required to create any table here.
Table name,
Table name
data
required,
type, data type, data
data
size.
type. To create column names, who will provide these
Yeah,
things?
we require.
So
Required.
to create a table, you need table name, you need column name, you need data type and size of for that column. So to create a table, you need table name, column name, and data type. Table name and column name and data type. So now we will learn about the data type first, then we will see how to create this table and what and all restrictions to create the tables and how many maximum columns we can declare. I will show you practically clearly. We will create like this tables everything now. But before going to the creation of a table, you must and should know this data type, right? Then only you can declare what type of field, which data type you have to declare. What is char, what is number, what is date, what is varchar2. When you will declare the for which column required these data types, when you will declare, when you know completely about these data types, then you can assume that, right? When then only you can determine that for SID it's a numeric data, then I have to declare number data type. Fee, it is a numeric data. Date of birth and date of join, that is the date. So then I have to use the date. When you will determine, when you know all complete data types, then only you can declare, right? You can determine right here, you can define for the columns what data type it has to accept. So first you have to learn the data types. To define the columns, which data type that has to be allowed, then you have to lump the data types. What and all data types we have? There are Oracle supports two types of data types. Oracle SQL two data types are two types. One is built-in data types, another one is the user-defined data types. Built-in data types in the sense by default what and all data types provided by the Oracle software when you install this SQL Oracle in your machine by default they have developed and they have provided us. They are telling that we do have this many built-in data types. You can use whatever you want. That is called by default data types is called as a built-in data types. What and all available. User defined data types. We can create our own define user defined data types. This will be we can done in the PLSQL. We can create PLSQL. SQL we never create user defined data types. There is a one object that is I will tell you in the last object data types the set of if you observe if you say address is having the numeric data and some yash symbols or some string data everything all together you need to insert. Sorry. So by the time you require the user defined data types we will show that one. So now you need to know built-in data types in the SQL. So character data types, number data types, date time data types, large object data types, row id data types, long and raw data types. Long and raw data types, there are these six data types we have. Mostly we use these three data types. In real time we use these three data types and row id also we use and these large objects and long and raw objects used to store the images and videos in the database. So there is a procedure one concepts procedures in PLSQL where we can implement those data types procedures. For example, if you are applying one government job or any private sector, so there is a application you need to insert your photo and you need to insert your signature. The photo should not exceed 1 MB, that signature should not exceed some 560 KB or 720 KB like that they will put restriction. When you upload in the UI, how those are going to store in our database. Did you think at least when you are applying any job we are applying in the website how it is going to them whoever is conducting this exam. The form, see, I have given one form to fill if you interested. You people are filled that one. So how I got your details. The form is UI, know how I got the details. So I created that form, then whatever you entered that come to me based on the database. The same way, the when they conducted any government sector or private sector exam, you need to enter your details. Behind that, there is a program for the database and there is a program for the UI, Java or .NET or some other UI technologies combination of back-end technology programs and front-end technology programs. The front-end people they will use back-end program in their code. When you enter that fields are has to be database and store it. The main Java and this HTML and .NET people what they will do, they will decide How has to be, how the front end should be look like, how front end should be look like, front end should be look like, the like it will come some boxes, first name, last name, all these things, no, that is front end people will develop. The data which you are inserting, the data should be stored in the database. Who will develop? That is backend people will develop. Who is that? Database people. We are the database people. We ask to develop that field to accept whatever their first name, last name, their phone number, their hall ticket numbers, or everything they will enter, right? Marks, how many, these things, how their gender, for those all things to store in the database, we need to write some procedures to accept that in mode whatever they are giving the data and store in the database. By that time we have to use some LOD, sorry, long and raw database objects and large object data types to store the images and signatures. If you go to the SBI project, we need to store the image and the signature of the customers. By the time we used to use the procedure to store their details. Until unless we never use these things. Only videos, like unstructured data. Unstructured in the sense we can't think some structure, right? For the images and videos, these things, those things. So we will discuss one by one. So character data, number data, date time, date type, everything we will discuss one by one clearly from tomorrow session onwards. I will show you practically, like how the uh, how you need to insert the data by using character. What is character? How many bytes it will accept? How you need to declare it? How you have to insert the data? These all the things we will see practically from tomorrow onwards. Anyone is having any doubts, guys? Anyone is having any doubts? How do we create a table space? Do we need to create table space for every table? So we never create any table space. That will be taken care by database. The database architecture itself, the architecture means the database how they have developed. By default, table space will be there within the database itself. You no need to create any database. The mechanism of database they have developed like that product. So I have explained, right, how it works already. I think you have joined lately. If you want to deleted data, if you want to get, it will store there and you need to get it from there only. Any other questions? Now you can tell me, guys, like which is the your preferable time, 7 to 8 or 8 to 9. Many people are, I can see total 21 people. They are telling 8 to 9. Some people are telling 7 to 8.
7 to 8 is fine, sir. For my
Others,
opinion, like for login timings, like I hope like majorly for working working persons has joined here. So major login time is 9 to 9:30. So 7 to 8 is a convenient time, like my opinion.
okay. Nirmala, Nirmala, anyhow, you are joining only these free sessions. Others, 8 to 9. Randika Fernando, you are from Randika Fernando. Where are you from? Sri Lanka. Okay. I can't make out, guys. Some people are 7 to 8, some people are telling 8 to 9. I'm not understand. You people has to be adjust. If you want to learn any new technology, we have to be more flexible, and we have to be learn. If you need that one, that is our duty. No.